Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. I promised you a small, private little update after the 17th. Here it is, the 19th. We were talking about the last time, giving you an update about what happened in town with the doctors,
Sorry about the train.
etc. So, first of all, the doctor basically...
We are right on the tracks and we are outdoors, so little we can do about that.
The doctors basically gave a good argument why not to have surgery.
Basically, the fact that she wants to have another surgery in the same region within a year to a year and a half, he says, why bother with it for that short of a duration? Just get it all done at once. Instead, let's use this medication that'll do the same thing as the surgery. However, it has a very bad side effect for people like her. So, may not wish to do that.
So, what's happening is we are waiting for a phone call from one doctor Wednesday. I run the phone over at 5:30. I return home unless Aaron wants to make bacon and hash browns, which, talking about bacon and hash browns, Cigar Dog came up with the most unique cigar flavors I've ever thought of.
Yeah, especially it was on our Java Mint video.
Yes.
Something. What was it?
He said that while we're at talking,
bacon and eggs with hash
bacon
browns.
and eggs with a third stick of a hash browns, and then sell it as a 3-pack.
I don't know if I'd be up to the egg flavored one, but the bacon one, yeah. Bacon and egg together with sausage, perhaps. Hash browns, yeah, sure, why not? Heck, I'd be up for funnel cake flavor.
So, anyways, we first got into the appointment early. The nurse got us in at 10. She did her thing till 15 after. We waited 3 minutes. He came in at 18 after. My appointment was 10:30. We marched out of the door 12 minutes later. And one of the things I told him was, the plastic surgeon in the area said, we don't implant mint. He's like, okay. So Aaron said there was a red flag already at that point.
Yeah, a couple other points too, but anyways, life is life.
Yeah, Living Simply and Fun likes to brief you from time to time.
Sometimes disappointing things happen. You just have to move on.
And the other disappointing thing was Aaron was furious yesterday over the pharmacy.
See, now, I'll ask you how you would feel. I go in at about 12:30 and I say, hey, are my prescriptions ready? I had one that needed to be refilled. They told me, well, it's probably going to take 48 hours. We've got to wait for the doctor to get back to us. All right, that's fair enough. But I checked anyways to see if it happened to come in since I was in town. And I wasn't planning on going back to town for a while. And so I need the medication as soon as possible. Well, anyways, instead they get mad at me and they say, oh, we haven't heard from the doctor. You're going to have to call the doctor. We've been waiting for the doctor, but they haven't contacted us. Okay, I guess I have to contact the doctor. So we go down to lunch, which is probably about 15 minutes away from where the pharmacy is. And while I'm waiting for lunch, I call up the pharmacy, my doctor, and I talk to the nurse, and the nurse is like, oh no, we called them this morning. They should have had it about 7 a.m., 7:15. We talked to someone. They said they were going to fill it. We gave you 2 refills. So as soon as I got home, I end up calling them back. And they say, oh yeah, we got it in. And so I had to send it off to another place. But here's what upset me. The woman who told me that they hadn't heard about it and they hadn't gotten a hold of the doctor or anything, the day before when I called it in, she basically yelled at me on the phone that it'd be 48 hours. And then when I was in person there, she basically said, we told you it'd be 48 hours. The doctor hasn't contacted us. You're going to have to contact your doctor. Because your doctor doesn't want to fill it, it seems. So I'm like, okay, fine. Anyways, I felt like I was lied to my face. I mean, first of all, if you have a doctor's appointment and your doctor calls in your prescription, you can usually go straight from the office to go pick it up. So the doctor talked to somebody at 7 a.m. They already knew about it. They'd already were working on filling it. They may even have had it filled. the way that it seemed to me is just that they wanted to blow me off, and I don't even know why. It's just this woman seems to have a dislike with me, and I think I know why, and it's not something I'd prefer to discuss in a video, but it probably has to do with my legal name. And again, I'm not getting into that, but because of that, I think there was some mild discrimination on her part. And so I'm just going to pick it up the 24th. Oh well, big deal. I'll borrow a couple of Ritas because we're on the same medication for that. It's for acid reflux. It's pretty basic. It's a very common medication, and a lot of people are on it. So I'm really not too terribly concerned. At least I'm not going to run out of it. So, but I do feel like I was lied to directly to my face.
And then the other news about our lunch.
Oh yes, more disappointment. See, we get a lot of disappointment in our life. Sometimes we just let it be, such as lunch. We go into this little place, a nice little restaurant. It's been around in town
since 1952 is what the lady said.
Since the early 50s. I didn't hear the actual date. But I think she said she believes that the building was built in the 50s. And I know she said that. Anyways, we're sitting there and we order 4 German sausages. And the German sausage there is actually really decent. I like it. And I wanted Rita to try it because when she went, she had a messy experience with a mushroom Swiss burger that fell apart and had a greasy bun that just, everything just slid apart. And you need a fork and knife to eat it, and they give it to you out of these little paper wrappers. And the paper wrappers tear apart like immediately. Anyways, we ordered 4 of them, and when I go to pick them up, the woman's like, "Oh, we only had 3 German sausages, so we gave you a hot dog. Better luck next time." And the hot dog there is like 50 cents off the kids menu, which is actually a really good deal. Except for here's the thing: the German sausage is almost probably 7 or 8 inches long. The children's hot dog is about 2.5 to 3 inches long, maybe. It didn't even fit the bun, and the bun was torn in half, and it was broken in half in another spot, widthwise instead of lengthwise. So the bun came in 3 pieces and was squished together to try to fit this tiny little hot dog that was barely half the size of the hot dog bun. And they were pretty standard hot dog buns. I would have rather them have said, "Oh, we don't have 4 of them. Is there anything else off the menu of comparable price that you would like instead?" That is what they should have done. I probably would have taken 2 of the 99-cent hamburgers, even though they're only 8-pound hamburgers. It would have been worth the try. And then it would have been the same value. Instead, they ended up ripping me off $1.50. And I felt really gypped because afterwards we go down to the bus stop and there's a Pizza Hut right behind it. And now Pizza Hut has a deal of if you get two medium pizzas, you can get any toppings on it for $6.99 each. Well, I could have gotten 2 pizzas for the same price as these 2 German sausages. I would have rather the pizza, honestly.
I wanted to say I agreed with the Aaron on the pizza, but I also was angry because, as Aaron said,
it's always you who gets screwed on the food.
As Aaron said to me, and it was a private conversation, but he said when he was working in a restaurant, they had an inventory of everything they had, so they should have said...
If we were running low, we knew how many there were, and we'd tell the servers, etc., "Hey, we only got 3 pulled porks left." "All right, there's only 3 pulled porks left." So when the last one was sold, they'd end up saying, "Oh, we're out of that today." So in this small little kitchen that they have, they should have said, "Oh, we only have 3 German sausages." So when I ordered 4, they should have said, "You know what? I think we're," even if they didn't remember, they should have said, "I think we're low on those. Let me check to see if we have 4 of them." Instead, they just sold 4 of them without looking. So, no, I'm not all too pleased because that should have been standard procedure in any restaurant. If you're running low with something, you keep that in mind.
Exactly. So it just irritated the piss out of me.
But you know what? It was a good day anyways. Even though we did have 3 things bad go wrong.
Yes, however, the hot dog, because it was so damn small, whatever seasonings was in the hot dog, it didn't do me any good in my stomach.
No.
I was burping up hot dogs till like nighttime.
Yeah, we came home and we enjoyed ourselves all the rest of the evening, and we ended up having some sausages that we got at they bar us ones that were hickory bacon and cheese. I think it was smoked Swiss or something. Anyways, they came out really, really good with some mac and cheese, and I had some fries. Rita had the mac and cheese because she really wanted the mac and cheese. I figured, all right, fine, she can have the whole box. So she ate a whole box of mac and cheese, and I ate a handful of fries. Big whoop-de-doo. It worked for us.
Exactly. And the other thing I wanted to say, just for the record, the other day is
Yes.
the food bank is now giving expired food yet again.
Oh, yes. Had plums today that were so soft that when I went to go through them, I put my finger through one of them. They had a problem with no meat sitting out, and they ended up having to call somebody in. They were still giving out milk that was curdled. The vegetables were all pretty much wilted and looking nasty as all get out. Otherwise, it was mostly good, though. They also had some applesauce that expired almost 2 years ago, though. So, but you know, it's free food. One really can't complain too terribly much. It is free. I just wish that they'd give out healthy stuff, because a lot of the people are disabled, retired, sick, ill. Contaminated food that's expired could actually end up putting somebody in the hospital, and we don't really need to be paying somebody's medical bill because somebody gave them bad food because they have nothing else to eat, and so they go and eat the bad food because it's all they got. Makes me think of Rita's mom. Her sister gave her expired yogurt that was about a year expired because she didn't pay attention to the expiration date when she bought it. She didn't pay attention to the expiration date when she was feeding it to Rita's mom either. And at the time, Rita's mom was fighting severe infections, bladder infection, kidney infection, and here you put something that's very trying on the system. It very likely killed her early.
I also wanted to say, talking about everything that's happened lately, Aaron decided to take a liberty, since he wanted to do videos out here, to buy a box fan, as Moppy calls
Yes,
it,
and
his cooling box.
I tested it on the camera earlier before we got making videos, and that didn't seem to affect the video quality too much or the sound. I noticed that I'm a little quieter than usual on the video, but I think that's my own computer anyways. Especially since Rita's computers are pretty much dead on the cameras. She ordered a new camera, by the way.
Which, an update on that, I was told by Finger Hut they do not take post office boxes anymore, so I sent them my address. They didn't send me anything saying item was shipped or anything, so I gotta wait till Monday now for confirmation the emails came in. I sent the email 3 minutes after saying reply to this email and we'll get it shipped to a physical address. So I got I think it was an 8 or 10 megapixel high definition camera that will be used in the office as well as the other thing. I'm trying to hope it will fix the laptop problem. Aaron thinks it's a sound card. We'll find out as soon as the camera does come in and we test it. The other thing is, in the coming down the pipe, is we will be picking up some more pipe tobacco next month, as well as we will be looking into picking up some cigars to get us by until
we're looking at the beginning of the month. She's thinking about a CAO flathead.
7x70 big block.
Yep. Thinking about getting an M1 Cusano because I got one to try, but I might smoke mine before the end of this month. And looking at getting a Chillin' Moose because we had a whole box of them but forgot to review them. And looking at also getting a Undercrown because they're only $7 there. And getting a Kentucky Fire Cured Mewat since they're only $6 there. And heck, that's a lot cheaper actually than the online price for one single stick. So I look forward to trying those at an affordable rate.
And Mr. Aaron, I don't know if he said this in a previous video, next month is going to try to budget for some new peepers.
Yes, my glasses are 15 years old, but my prescription surprisingly hasn't changed much. So I could probably just stay with these. The thing is that they're kind of scratched up and getting old, so I really do need to just replace them.
I see my the same eye exam doctor than Aaron
On the 24th.
Yes, and
We're also looking at possibly next month getting a something to save us some money in the long run. There's a wonderful little device that looks like a propane tank, and it's got a handle on it. And you fill it up with some water and some detergent. You throw in some clothes, and you spin it by hand. After about 5 minutes, you put some rinse water in there after draining it, squeezing the soap out and all that, and then you basically rinse it. And then there's this little dryer thing that's like a salad dryer, and you just spin that, and
within 30 minutes to an hour.
It'll dry pretty well. No, it's only 5 minutes.
Yes, but I mean,
you can do it in the equivalent of your laundry wash that costs like $2.50, $3 in half the time, and at almost no cost. Just a little bit of detergent. So it's actually a really good deal, and in the long run it'll save us some money, and we're always about saving some money, and I could use the exercise anyways of cranking the handle. So
yeah, and so can I. The other thing is about it is, as Aaron and I have talked in previous videos, we do not like to get out of bed that early. His bed's over at his apartment, mine's in mine, and let's just say we don't like to get up at, say, 6 in the morning, slamming
she doesn't
ED.
explain that. You see, I'm very introverted. I do not like going out. I don't like being around people much. And the one thing I really dislike is going to the laundromat and having like 6 people with only 7 washers at work. Especially when you got 2 to 3 loads. You feel like you're in everybody's way. It's kind of uncomfortable. It's already hot and sweaty in there because there's no air conditioning. I like to get there early before anybody else really gets there, and hopefully get everything done. Doing it at home just helps me be more the introvert that I already am. All I need to do now is find a place that'll deliver me food, and have a doctor that'll do home doctoring, and I don't have to go out at all.
So far, I haven't seen any doctors since the 50s that came out to homes. And I know vets in Australia do house calls because, if you get the right vet. The other thing...
But I'm meant to be a shut-in. I'm not one that plays nice with other people. Mainly because I'm just too scared of everything else. And too nervous, and anxiety kicks in, and it causes me pain, and I don't like it. It's better just for me to stay in and stay away. Not that I have anything wrong with the people that I run across, it's just... I feel uncomfortable. Horribly.
I also wanted to say, in the future, I will be collecting little cigar cutters like this. This one says Gurkha, but my next one I'd like to get is Cohiba.
They are actually really, really good cutters, and since I really love torpedoes, it's the only ones I cut because I use a hole punch on anything that's a non-torpedo. Just the way that I like things. But I love the torpedo because it narrows the smoke, and I seem to get a better flavor for the cigar.
I'm for 6x60s and 4x60s.
She loves her nubs. By the way, speaking of nubs, next month I'm planning on getting us some samples to try the cane nubs. We haven't tried those yet, so it seemed like maybe a good time to do that. It all depends on how the budget looks, and I have not done up the budget yet for myself, and I won't know what I can do until then. So.
And the other thing is talking about, everything going on. I still got to invest for winter a new comforter and a new blanket. And Aaron said it's about time for me to replace the old ratty towels.
Yeah. I almost threw one out when I was doing laundry the other day because of how bad it was. But I figured it's still good as a rag, and my grandma would always take the old rotten ones and cut them up as rags, and we'd use them for another couple months before they were totally dead.
The other thing I wanted to talk about today is this was the week of E3. Now, me and Aaron went in and round and round and round, and he knew some stuff that I didn't know, but...
Yes, Bravely Default, which we got in an argument about over Bravely Second, because I said it had been announced, and she said, no, it's not on any of the lists that it was announced, and it was actually announced pre-E3, so it was announced. But for the most part, I found this E3 to be... Well, I don't know, it sold me on a PS4. Whenever I can afford a PS4, I want to get it because I'm looking forward to Uncharted 4, Fallout 4. I might actually be interested in getting into Elder Scrolls Online through it because I don't have a PC that can handle it.
I do. It works fine. It's just I don't want to pay for it. And they say once you buy the game, and we were beta testers, by the way, if you didn't know.
Yes, we were beta testers for the game. Now, I don't know if the requirements have changed since then.
It hasn't changed. However, I'm looking forward to Final Fantasy VII and some other games that I've been looking into.
Oh, yes, Final Fantasy VII is another reason for the PS4.
Uncharted 4 is going to be great. You can pre-order that one, but it's coming out like into 2016.
We kind of found some of the DS news to be okay, but some of it we really hated due to the fact that Nintendo seems to be going towards the way of the Amiibo, and I got a real big problem with the Amiibo because I know some people who were playing games that had Amiibo characters, and there were scalpers out there basically buying up every single one and then turning around and selling them from the $3 or $4 they bought them for $80, $90 to $200 for some of them.
Heck.
And I'm just afraid with these games, they'll be like, once you've completed level 1 or the first 5 missions or something, you have to have this Amiibo to continue on. And you might go and look for it and find that the only place you can get it's a scalper who's got it for $300. And you might be sitting there, well, how am I supposed to complete the game I just spent $60 on? Or $40 on? You spend $40 for a game, now you gotta spend and buy like 20 Amiibos to finish it at $2 to $3 a piece. And now you're talking another $40 on top of it. It just ain't worth it.
I do want to say a correction. I was looking up Nintendo's current prices on Amiibos.
A word she can't say.
Yeah, Amiibo is Nintendo's got Amiibos for certain games right now, and I was browsing the Amiibos through GameStop or EB Games, and they were $12.99 each.
See, so there you get. Well, I saw some the other day though at the checkout at Walmart for Mario Brothers that were 99 cents a piece. So, but anyway, some of them could be as much as 13, and that's without scalpers prices. So you end up buying 5 or 6 for a game at $13 to $14 a piece. You're already like $60 on top of the 40 you paid for the game. It's not. I don't like it. That's like pay to play. And even Bravely Default went pay to play.
I do want to say, for the record, even though I'm a big supporter of Nintendo back then, I grew up with Nintendo. Nintendo is killing themselves.
I think they're shooting themselves in the foot with this idea. I am not pleased with it. It's great little collector's items for the kids, but heck, is a parent going to really be happy if they have to buy their child a collector figurine just so that their kid can play their video game that they already paid for? I wouldn't. A lot of families don't have the money for that. So what is it? Nintendo's going to the rich kids only? If that's the case, then they're dead because it was basically a fun system anybody could play. It's just kind of upsetting to me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then the other news I just heard that was a real shell shocker is rumor has it Sony was going to lower the price of their PS4.
And Xbox
instead, Xbox did to compete.
And Xbox is going backwards compatible to Xbox 360 games, and they're even taking suggestions of which ones people want. Whereas PlayStation is not going to do any backwards compatibility, it seems.
So, yeah. Also, talking about other issues besides me waiting for that email for Fingerhut to come in and get that new camera, which I'm excited. Aaron decided to get a pair of hair clippers for mopping Blizzard. Now we just got to get a muzzle for Blizzard.
I mean, they're not very good, but the thing is, it's probably my skill level too. I got to learn how to use them proper. Also, Moppy has hair that tangles very easy, and so does Blizzard. And it says to basically comb them out thoroughly first, and Blizzard's full of knots. So I don't even know if they're going to be very good for trying to work on Blizzard. Might still have to take him to get a professional cut, as much as I hate to say it.
We're trying to save money because, well, it's living simply and fun, and the hairstylist, which we were promised a haircut from a friend, she reneged, so it's already
Well,
almost
she hasn't
July.
exactly reneged, it's just she keeps putting it off, and it's been 7 months since she said she'd do it, and, well, it's eventually going to get to the point we don't want the oils out of his fur again, so we don't want to cut his hair and give him a bath. So we got to get it done before then. And
Before winter.
because we have such an outstanding bill on his emergency bill, I don't really feel comfortable taking him to that place and saying, here, give him a haircut while we owe you money already. Just add that on to what we owe you. It just isn't right.
The other thing I want to say, and I'm not going to give any heads up right now, but we're going to be hearing from a doctor Wednesday who's calling to confirm and discuss surgical options. I got another doctor I'm working with as well, so because of the transgender thing. But the problem is, and Aaron and I laugh at it, is apparently there's something wrong with the doctor's medical assistant. Because
She doesn't call back. She doesn't email back. She's never in the office either. And you have to go through her for everything, and that kind of is really crappy that she won't even talk to you. I mean, 7 months we've got one email from her, and it was like a one-word email, like okay or thanks. And it's like okay.
The other thing is me and Aaron is looking to take a trip
Jeez.
to
Stop fidgeting and hitting me with your elbow.
to New York or Miami. And if that's the case, it'll be New York will probably be in April to June of 2016 because Aaron and I both agree we're not going to go there during winter.
Yeah.
And-
Well, also I refuse to go through Chicago, Cleveland, New York, the Northeast right now because I do have a service dog and I do have that problem with the what do they call it, the canine flu or whatever that's killing dogs. I really don't want to put Moppy through that, and if he comes back out here, he might get other dogs sick. Blizzard's already old. I just don't feel comfortable taking him through those areas right now.
So what me and Aaron has done, and we've talked about it, Aaron's job is to find the best price for hotel or motel, and I'll secure it. The thing is we're going to be flying to those destinations. Airfare is pretty cheap, flying out of our local airport.
It's not exactly cheap. It's just on par with the train tickets, and
However,
we really don't want to go by bus for 5 or 6 days or 12 days or whatever.
However, I wanted to say something to you, the audience, about transgendered related is the doctor that I talked to, because I was flying down there, I think it was Texas, who was talking to me about a consultation, yet he said absolutely not if I have surgery with him to take the train back. I'm sitting so much, I can have blood clots from fresh surgery. and
Yeah,
that
but
can
you
kill.
also walk around more, whereas you get on a plane, you're stuck in a seat pretty much permanently for the remainder of the flight. Whereas with a train, you can lay on your side, you can lay on your back, you can lay on your front, you can put the seat down, you can walk back and forth. Heck, you can walk all over the train. Usually they don't have any rule that says seat belts on.
Yes, but the problem is, as he also said, is the price of everything on the train is expensive.
That's true. You end up getting a train ticket that takes you 4 days. You're looking also at buying like 8 meals on board at least. And the meals are on average $10 a person, so you're talking $160 extra in meals for 2 people.
I do want to say, the day the doctor gave his good argument the other day, the 17th, we went and we found my psychiatrist's office, a new one. We know where my therapist is, so we can get there.
You even found a plastic surgeon's
Exactly.
office that said they wouldn't implant men.
That does hair removal. Now get this. This might be interesting for you all. Aaron and I was sitting around, and Aaron was only carrying a few dollar bills on him. So we got a cookie to pass the time, but he was panicking because he forgot his wallet.
Yeah, we were going to eat on the way home. Luckily, Rita had the money to pay for it, but the place that we chose had some really beard up guys who were super macho men who were seeming to take some offense to Rita being in the place with her, taking offense to Moppy being with me. One of them was complaining to the management, pointing at my dog, and making obscene gestures, basically. And then when they got done talking to the manager, they went and got a cell phone and started taking pictures of the dog.
Yeah, and I think me too, but I can't confirm or deny.
Anyways, we decided we were going to get out of there before one of them got belligerent, and it was getting very uncomfortable in there.
Exactly. So once we got home, we were feeling a lot better because we were home. But we were also unhappy at the fact that we had to deal.
Anyways, this was supposed to be a fairly short update, and it's become a very long update.
Anyways, so it was just, we'll keep
I don't want to be uploading all night. I'd like to actually do some other stuff with you tonight.
Anyways, I wanted to say, yes, agreed, that, we have another update probably coming after the 24th. So, look for that. Here's something interesting. The 24th, I'm getting up at 4 because I gotta wake up. It takes me time, as I call it, jumpstart my heart, to go to wake up. But I have to run over to Aaron's place around 5:30 to give him the phone. So if one of the doctors calls like he's supposed to, he can call between 6 and 10. That's his only working hours for the entire week. So, I'm hoping he ain't called at 9 o'clock his time, 6 our time, because as I told Aaron and the people in the email, that it would be very embarrassing for him to be conversing about it at, say, the community college or on the bus.
No, I don't mind the community college too much. I can find some private areas to go talk, but on the bus I would have a real problem with it because it's usually crowded at that time. Anyways, I think we should wrap this video up.
I have nothing much to say right now. I will keep you informed.
I think one of the things I want to do tonight with Rita is, I keep telling her about this episode of an anime called To Love Ru. I think I want to watch that with her. She'd get a kick out of it. So, that's part of the plan for the day. Especially since we got the computer on the TV, it might be a good idea for us to enjoy some animes for a while too. Just as a change of pace. Sometimes you need to change things up. It makes things more entertaining that way and more fun. I've kind of gotten Skyrim'd out for a bit because we've been playing Skyrim so much, and I'm waiting for my PS3 to come back from Sony at this point.
Which Aaron's friend said they're going to wipe his memory clean.
Which I don't care too much. In a way, I gotten pretty far in Mugen Souls and Hyperdimension Neptunia, and I really don't want to start those all over again, but oh well. If I do, I do.
So yeah, we'll update you the 24th. You'll probably get a small update on the 3rd when we return. The 4th we're not.
Well, the 3rd we're going into town mainly to go and pick up a few stogies and have lunch.
And breakfast. The restaurant that we went to, I talked to this lady and I asked her, is it a traditional Mexican breakfast? Because I had these corn tortillas with eggs on the top, with a ranchero sauce, with a side of refried beans and Spanish rice.
I somehow feel that the beans and rice wouldn't be part of breakfast, but the eggs served over corn tortillas with Mexican sauce on it might very well have been.
My mother would have turned down that place for breakfast because that would not be a traditional breakfast.
See, I want to try the chorizo with potatoes.
I want to try their, what do they call it? Their dried beef. They got a dried egg dish, and it just seems so, amazing. So, and then I want to try the shrimp again. They said the kitchen would have to see if they can remove the shells because they butterfly them and leave the shells
I really doubt they will because part of their process is just cutting them with the shell on and then you have to remove them. which is really hard with the Diablo sauce because you get it all over your fingers and you don't want that in your eyes and stuff. And it's very hard to clean
They have a
up.
very good tomatillo sauce too that I like with shrimp. But I don't like how they leave the lettuce and everything all combined together with the rice. It's like get rid of the lettuce and the tomato and, you know.
Well, anyways, let's call this a video.
All right. So, look for our other videos in the future and updates. Please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestions. Thank you. And as I say now, smoke them if you got them. Good night.